What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Out of the Park Baseball 26, where we are rebuilding the Pittsburgh Pirates. And this is the big one. Episode 50, we are looking to defend our status as World Series champions here in 2031. In today's episode, we're going to be playing through all of the playoffs here, and we'll just see how far we go. If we get bounced early, that'll obviously be disappointing. We've appeared in the World Series 2 consecutive seasons. Last year, beating the Baltimore Orioles pretty handily, I want to say in 6 games. And then the year prior, actually, we made it to the World Series, took Boston the full 7, but ended up losing. So this would be our 3rd trip to the World Series if we're able to make it. We had the best record in the regular season this year by far, 112 wins, put us at the very top of baseball. The Dodgers were the only other triple-digit win team. Tampa on the other side at 99. So we'll kind of see who we end up facing here. Obviously, we will play the winner of Chicago and Miami, but we don't know who that's going to be yet. So let's go ahead and advance. How we typically do the playoffs here, we'll take a look at who we're facing, the opponents, and then we'll simulate game by game, dive into the box scores. It should be a fun episode. These are my favorite ones to make. But if you find yourself coming back to these videos, I would appreciate if you're able to leave a like or a comment on the video. Obviously, 50 episodes is quite the milestone, so hoping that this is a good one and we get the result we want to see. So you should be sending good vibes as well, even if you're watching this far into the future from when this was originally uploaded. Would appreciate if you could leave a like on the video. So let's get into it. Before I show you our team, I've already sort of set up how I want our lineups to look and pitching to look, but let's kind of take a look at who we're facing here. I'll advance through all of the wild card series, and we can zoom in on our roster as well as our opponents. Okay, here we go. Wild card round is finished. A couple of series went the full 3 games. It looks like we will face off against Miami here at the top of the bracket. New York sweeps Washington to face LA. Detroit goes the full 3 set against Boston. They will face the Angels, and Houston sweeps Cleveland to face Tampa. So let's go ahead and meet the Miami Marlins and see who we are going to be facing. I guess first of all, just from a how did we stack up against them in the regular season? They were one of the few teams that actually got the better of us, winning 4 out of our 7 games against each other. So losing win percentage for us there, not great. But we, have a high-powered offense, a great pitching staff. No one's pretty much going to touch us in these. We'll see if any of the AL teams can stack up against us, but we beat them in both categories there. We are great at home and great on the road. They are not so good on the road. So hoping we can jump on them early here. Obviously, we will give Dan Beebe the ball game 1, and you feel good anytime you give Dan Beebe the baseball. So I'll go over our roster afterwards, but they are actually a pretty solid team. I think we're maybe helped by the fact that they went the full set against Chicago here. The last game actually went into extras as well, so maybe their pitching staff is a little fatigued. They did have 1 off day here, but when I go to the presumptive starter today, Chris Bubich, he's actually only at 68% rested. So I'm wondering if they'll look to make a change last second in the actual box score. We may see a bullpen game. Kind of unsure what they're going to do there. In terms of their pitching, they actually have Jose Alvarado as well. He was on our team last season, actually pitched meaningful innings in the World Series for us. So he's their closer this year, and it looks like he's been, on the whole, pretty good. Actually had these stats split, but he has a 1.7 WAR on the season for them. All of their starters are tired. So Chris Bubich, Simeon Woods Richardson, Kyle Harrison, and Carson Milbrandt all fatigued. So that makes me think they may go bullpen game. I don't know. They have Garrett Cole back there. Johnny Brito as well, I suppose, could start. They have Cole Reagans. Sixto is still with the Marlins here, funnily enough, and Jose Hernandez as well. So kind of quite the collection of characters here. I don't know. From a WAR perspective, Chris Bubich is obviously the best. We had looked at potentially trading for him in the offseason, ended up going for Robert Gasser instead. But he's been their best pitcher. Good seasons from Simeon Woods Richardson and Carson Milbrandt as well. As far as their lineup goes, they actually have quite a few talented players here, a number of 60 grade players and a bunch of 50 as well. So I think their best player is probably Starlin Caba, just given the plus defense he brings. Kind of a down year, maybe. He's at one point he would put up a 5-WAR season here in 2029, 2030. Looks like only played 15 games this year, only 68. So he's kind of battling injury, I guess. That is sort of his downfall. But really, plus glove, they also have PJ Morlando, who had a 125 WRC plus on the season, 3.6 WAR. The left-handed batter is now 25 and really looking pretty strong, just entering his arbitration. And finally, Luis Cova, also very strong, 3.4 WAR in the outfield. Fragile again, but plus fielder, great on the base path, contact first, but also brings a little pop as well. Very well-rounded player, very good team. Other familiar faces here: Victor Mesa Jr., Kevin McGonigal is here, Max Acosta, Jesus Fernandez is just a 22-year-old switch-hitting first baseman who looks quite good. They acquired him from the Astros, it looks like, and he has played pretty well. So, overall, very talented team. Jacob Berry, Augustine Ramirez, players that you recognize from real life in terms of WAR. PJ Morlando, Luis Cova, Jesus Fernandez are your leaders here. So I think it's going to be a tough series. It's a full 5-game set. Hopefully we benefit from their pitching being fatigued. I'm going to show you our roster next. We'll go ahead and get started with our lineup here. I think it's probably the most boring part, but everyone is going to play in some fashion against left or right. So, we're going 13-13, which is, I just didn't love. I'll show you our playoff eligible roster in a bit. I just didn't love any of the other position players we could bring. So wanted the extra arm in the bullpen, even though it's just a 5-game set. But we're bringing Gabe Arellano, and he will actually, factor pretty prominently for us. The switch-hitting outfielder just got a taste of action this year, only 21 games at the major league level. But just betting on his attributes playing, I think he is our best option as DH against right-handed pitching. So you can see how we've structured the card here. Pretty strong all the way through. Brock Kettleson will start in left field, and we'll just have Arellano and Weinberger as outfield backups. Against lefty pitching, we will face lefty pitching in this. Chris Bubich is a lefty, and Kyle Harrison is a lefty, so we'll likely get a good amount of run here. Arellano will be bumped all the way up to the 5 spot. We're also going to play Camden Koziel at first base and Seth Weinberger in the 2 spot. So, it should be interesting to see how this lineup performs, but I think we are, pretty well equipped for both sides. We've planned our roster for, lefty hitters against right, righty hitters against left. I think we're pretty strong. Pitching-wise, I mentioned we're carrying, full 13 here. We're going to go BB, Gasser, McElroy, Jones. And then in the bullpen, we're kind of just bumping all of our leverage arms down a slot because, these middle relievers, they'll come in if we're losing. I want all of these guys to come in if we are winning with the lead. So, more exposure for them. Bumped up Cole Sands into a setup role, backup closer. I was taking a look at his stats on the year as a whole, and they were actually very strong. We're bumping down Carlos Mateo to just a righty specialist, double specialist role here. So trying to protect him, he was actually getting shelled by left-handed batters. Probably something I should have picked up on earlier in the season, but 7 FIP against left-handed batters. His strikeout minus walk is down to just 5, whereas it's 21 against right-handed batters. So he's actually quite strong against righties. He's just getting touched up, walking guys, giving up the long ball against lefties. So trying to remove him from leverage if we can. And Diaz will go 8th plus. So I'll show you who was available to bring, and you can, criticize my decisions. I didn't feel like we should bring Burrows, Brian Hiles, any of these other pitchers really. Antoine Kelly didn't get enough of a sample for me to feel comfortable And then obviously batter-wise, like really Johnny Severino is the only one who had major league experience, and he was not good. So didn't really want to bring him on. And same for Esther Suero. Phil Goodall obviously hurt. So I felt like given those choices, it just made more sense for us to go 13-13. And we'll see how we do here. Obviously, I have removed pitch counts from our strategy. So hopefully we can go full bore here in this series. Let's go back to the playoff coverage here, and we'll kind of see how they choose to handle their starting pitching situation here. Okay, had to take a quick hydration break there. So let's get these games underway. Without further ado, game one today of the divisional series, Miami versus Pittsburgh. Here in PNC, it will be Dan Beebe facing off against Chris Bubic. We'll take a look at Bubic's stat line. 33 starts, 181 innings, 3.13 ERA. The whip is looking good. He's honestly very solid. He's a scary pitcher to face. You hope that we can get to him on his limited rest, should he actually be the starter. And we know Dan Beebe is, staring down another Cy Young. It would be his second Cy Young award in his young career. For the 26-year-old, ended up winning 21 games, made 31 starts, pitched tremendously, sub-1 whip, 67 FIP minus, 6.5 WAR season for our number one overall pick out of Oklahoma. So let's get this underway. 5-game set, it can be scary. We're fully rested. They're coming off a battle against Chicago. Hopefully we can take game one here and be in the driver's seat the whole way. If we fall behind, I'll start to get nervous and panic. So let's simulate here. And we take game one. Wow. 4-3. A late walk-off win for the Buccos here. It looks like Diaz gets the win. Alvarado takes the loss. So returning to Pittsburgh, we get to Alvarado. Let's see how this one ended up looking. Wow, we were down heading into the 8th and 9th, and we were able to get it back. We jump out to a 2-0 lead. They equalize in the top of the 2nd, get one more in the 6th before we tie it up in the 8th and walk it off bottom 9. So imagine the stadium was going crazy. And it was Gabe Arellano, our young DH, getting a run-scoring single against Alvarado late. Alfonso actually hitting lefty-lefty against Alvarado in the 8th. He doesn't often do that. We usually bench him in favor of Plaz against left-handed pitching. So our manager, sticks by him. Connor Griffin manages to get a triple in the 8th, I'm seeing as well. So it was like triple and then double for Alfonso to push across that run. Gabe Arellano with a single in the bottom of the 9th there. So he's the hero. Dan Beebe obviously pitched well, 7 2/3. It looks like allowing 3 runs, however. So let's see who hit 2 for 4 for Griffin. We got our pinch hitters in there, it looks like, but to little success. Although it looks like Plaz did end up scoring. I guess he was the scoring run that Arellano maybe pushed across late. And a couple steals for Sanford and Lantigua. Again, Beebe goes 7 2/3. 7 hits you don't love, 3 walks, 7K overall, just solid, I would say. Sands comes in for a single out, throws 2 pitches, funny, and Diaz shuts it down. So feeling good about him. This is kind of his swan song, age 37. So overall, we're in the driver's seat, feeling good. Let's go ahead and finish today and advance until tomorrow's game. It looks like they did not start Chris Bubic, so I actually didn't even pick up on that. Let's take a look at what they did here. It was Justin Hagenman, and then they go Reagan's Alvarado. So they threw out the kind of, middling right-handed pitcher in game one here. So questionable decision, I would say, on their part as we continue to get scouting reports. But now Bubic is presumably fully rested, and he is. So it will be a matchup of lefties here. Chris Bubic versus Robert Gasser. Looks like Bubic had 1 start earlier in the postseason, did not go especially well. But we're going to give the ball to Robert Gasser here over Finn McElroy. I was sort of flip-flopping in between them. Ultimately felt like McElroy was better suited to pitch on the road in this series. So going with Gasser here. Let's see if it pays off. We will simulate the game. And we get the 3-2 victory late. It looks like it was into the bullpen. JoJo gets the win. Lost to Garrett Cole and Diaz with another save. Homer for Axel Plaus. Couple of really tight games here. Obviously love that we're able to win that. We were down again. They go 1-0. We go 2-1. They equalize 2-2. We jump out in the bottom 7, 3-2, and that's how it stayed. So, good amount of hits for both teams there. Looks like they had an error. Weinberger and Griffin hits at the top of our order. Bottom 6, it was Axel Plaus with a 2-run jack against Bubic, and Elian Pena with the run-scoring single against Garrett Cole in the bottom of the 7th. So, nice win for us. One step closer toward our ultimate goal, says Pena. And let's see who hit here. So, we ended up pinch hitting for Lantigua late. Interesting. Ariano with another hit. Axel Plaus with the, big hit in the 6th inning. That homer was obviously very clutch. And not too much else to speak of. A bunch of steals. Wow. Even Weinberger getting in on the action. Not usually in his game. And it looks like Kettleson actually scored a run as well. He drew a walk and scored a run. Presumably he also stole. So I would imagine Pena was possibly the one to bat him in late. I guess that would make sense. And then Gasser goes 5 1/3. 6 hits again, 3 walks, 7K. Pretty good. Sands, Romero, both, lights out. Although we do give up a run here from Sands, I guess possibly on a passed ball from Plaus. I don't know how that ended up happening. And Starlin Caba is injured while running the bases for them. So it's he'll be done for the rest of the series, intercostal strain. He may be able to return for the final game, but that's pretty tough for them. He'll be out at least the next 2 in Miami. So I guess that's a point in our favor there. I want to see how this run scored. If we go top 7, that will be where we will find what happened. So Cole Sands enters. Looks like ground out triple. Fielder's choice at home. Single. So first and second. JoJo comes in. Ground out. Unclear when the run scored here. If I'm just I am struggling to read this. Passed ball. Oh, there it is. Yeah. So JoJo comes in against PJ Morlando. Passed ball. Bobby Romero. Looks like he made it to third, so it was runners on the corner, I guess, there. So he scores on the wild pass ball. So, as expected, that was on our catcher. So let's go ahead and reset here. We're going to go to Miami for the next 2. We just need one more win to advance. Pulling into Miami here, we're going to give the ball to Finn McElroy. Of course, a tremendous season for McElroy this year. 31 starts, 2.81 ERA, 1.14 whip, 4.6 WAR. The young star has really blossomed this season for us. He will face off against Simeon Woods Richardson, who is, the definition of steady here. His attributes very well balanced across the board. I believe a career high 33 starts here. It looks like it tied his output in 2028, but a career season in terms of WAR, 3.1 WAR, ERA, and FIP close to league average, but both above average, I would say. So one of their better arms will face off against one of our better arms here, and they are, backs against the wall. We are up 2-0 here. Hopefully we can put this away and go back to Pittsburgh, get some more rest under our belt, and look ahead to the championship series. But let's see how we do here. Game 3 in Miami on the road. We will simulate, and we take it. 10-5, big victory here McElroy gets the win. The bats got hot. Homer for Ariano again, and Benj. Series MVP is actually Axel Plaus. I guess he did have some big moments here in the early games. They get homers from Ryan Ritter and Jesus Fernandez. So big offensive outburst for us here. They actually jump on us 1-0, and then we come back top two, 2-1, 4-1 after 5, and then they kind of get it going, but we trade, so I guess it would be 6-1, 6-4, and then we kind of scored a bunch here. We scored 2 runs every inning here, kind of on the back half. 12 hits overall for us, 2 errors on their part. Have to wonder who committed those. Looks like Sanford, Johnson, Benj all add big hits here. The bottom of our lineup hitting really well. 2 hits from Kettleson, 2 hits from Ariano as the DH. They're both, putting up nice slash lines through the early sample size here. 3 hits for Sanford as well in the cleanup spot is really quite nice. So errors from Simeon Woods Richardson, it did look like that one is costing him 2 runs there. Josh Smith as well. McElroy goes 5 1/3, kind of subpar game, 41 game score, only striking out 3, allowing 6 hits and 4 earned. But Cole Sands comes in again. How about Cole Sands, you guys? I know he gave up 1 run, but he's pretty steady for us. And then Mateo kind of gets mop-up duty here, striking out 4, only walking 1 in 2 innings. So nice that he was able to come in and see success in lower leverage. So player of the game is Wyatt Sanford. We will advance to the championship series here, and we handle business. We're able to get fully rested here, and we will see who awaits us on the other side. All right, guys, here we go. It looks like our destiny is to face the Dodgers here in the LCS. I think they're probably the best team other than us in the whole league, so it's fitting we have to go through them in order to make it where we want to be in the World Series. So they sweep the Mets at the bottom. The Angels sweep the Tigers in the AL, and Tampa-Houston goes the full 5 games where Houston actually wins. They have climbed out of the wild card and are now in the LCS on the AL side. So let's take a look at the Dodgers here. I mentioned they are one of the scarier teams in the league this year. Obviously, they also won 100-plus games, 104 and 58. If we take a look at their pitching staff here, it appears they are going to go with Logan Redmond, game 1. Both teams fully rested here. That Houston-Tampa series going the full 5 allowed, pretty much everyone else to rest. Everyone else swept, so relatively low drama. Logan Redmond is a first-round pick from 2026, 2.4 WAR pitcher this season for them. They will go Yamamoto game 2, who, has won, I believe, only 1 Cy Young Award in this sim, but he's always competing for it. Looks like he had a 3 WAR this season, and then they go Roki Sasaki, George Kirby to round out their 4. In the bullpen, they have Marco Corcho, who is one of the scariest pitchers in the sim. True 80 grade here, 3 80-plus grade pitches, good stamina, ground ball archetype. Actually was a starter for them last season, started 30 games, got 160 innings of work for a 5.2 WAR. They bump him back to the bullpen this season where he leads the NL with 48 saves. So the 26-year-old pitcher, is a superstar. So he's very scary to face. Otherwise, just, a ton of very, very solid pitchers here, 55 grades, pretty much across the board. Lineup-wise, I think they have probably the best player in the sim, Emil Morales, or at least the best hitter, I would say, the most well-rounded hitter. Had 149 RBI this season, hit 306 for 159 WRC+. It looks like he already won an MVP last season in 2030. Could repeat this year, just plus power from the right-hand side. Great fielder, good on the base paths. Overall, very, very good player at just 25 years old. They also have guys like Kellen Lindsay, Oswaldo Osorio. These players are all super young and budding superstars here. Ton of guys with 3 and 4 WAR. Corbin Carroll in his first season here in the outfield is a 70 grade player. Put up a 5 WAR for them. Still looks very, very solid here. So, they are definitely scary. Dalton rushing behind the dish, Mookie Betts still on the roster, Alex Friedland, as well as Andy Pages, and our old buddy Jack Sawinski. Let's actually take a look at Jack here. Full negative WAR player for them this season, but they're rolling him out there anyway. They don't care. This is his revenge narrative against us from way back in the day. So that's kind of a funny Easter egg. They also, I noticed, have Tyler Holton on their roster, who has a torn flexor tendon in his elbow, so he is unfortunately unavailable for them. But let's get into it here. We're going to have home field advantage. I think that obviously goes in our favor here. We're going to go BB Gasser, the same kind of rotation we had before. This says Jared Jones, but it should flip to McElroy here once we get moving. Obviously, would love to stay in the driver's seat here. They are second in both runs and scored and runs against, so right behind us in both categories. Looks like we took 4 of 6 against them in the regular season, so maybe tilts in our favor a bit there. They're pretty even home and road, so I would say probably our biggest test here. Again, we're giving the ball to BB game 1 against Logan Redmond, who kind of split time across AAA and the majors this season, so surprising they would go to him game 1 here, but 3.5 ERA, pretty solid FIP, not really walking too many guys, 2.4 WAR in 18 starts for the young rookie, or maybe he's not a rookie anymore, but the young 26-year-old. So we'll see if we can take this here. Obviously need to open up strong. They will go all righties as well, so we will not face a left-handed pitcher here. I think that's probably notable. So that's enough table setting. Let's see how we do here. We take the L, 7-5. BB wears the loss. Redmond gets the win. Homer for Pages and Kettleson. So we immediately are down in the hole against them. It looks like they got a ton of hits here. We tried to come back late, but it was simply not enough. Even if they had an insurance run, so even if they hadn't scored that, it would have been fine. They erupt for 6 in the top of the 6th. We are out to a 2-0 lead and cruising. Something goes wrong in the 6th, and they kind of seize on the opportunity. We were, I think, probably unable to push runs across. We left 11 on base, although they left 18 on base as well. So looks like hits for Pena, Johnson, Sanford, Lantigua, and Kettleson, 3 for 4. Steals for Lantigua, an error from Carson Benj at first base, but it was not especially costly. It just looks like that affected the kind of insurance run late. BB wears the full 5, so not his best start there. 43 game score for our superstar compared to a 64 game score for Redmond. Walked none, struck out 7. So we really actually got beat on the mound today, which is pretty rare when we give BB the ball. So tough look. Unsure what ultimately ended up happening there in the 6th inning. I guess we could dive in and see. But not typical of Dan Beebe to give up so many, base runners. And so it looks like a walk, single, so first and third, fly out, walk, so bases loaded. Everyone scores pretty much on a double, bases clearing double by Trujillo. Another double by Rushing. We bring in Brian Hudson, 2-run jack for Andy Pages. So probably should have brought in a righty to face Pages instead of a lefty there. So that's kind of tough. Jack Sawinski strikes out swinging to end the inning. So just kind of snowballed there, got away from us. So we'll finish today. Obviously not ideal. We desperately need this game too, but it will be a tough ask because we will be playing against Yoshinobu Yamamoto here. I'd still think it's too early to make any sort of lineup adjustments. I'm kind of unwilling to do that just yet. If we go deeper in the series, maybe we can look at overall playoff splits here and try to better optimize. But we're going to stick with our regular lineup here. Gasser versus Yamamoto. Again, Yamamoto 34 starts this season, 16-8 record, 185 innings at a 3.0 WAR. So very solid for the 33-year-old, now in his 8th year of service time. Let's see how we can do here. Really need this one. And we get the victory, 4-1. Cole Sands is day-to-day with a tender elbow. So we will, potentially look to replace him. It's a full 1 week injury, but let's go ahead and dive into the box score here. I need to see what ended up happening. Our home crowd propels us to a 4-1 victory. It looks like, the starters get the decisions there. Trujillo hits a homer for them. Diaz with the save. Wonder how close this one got. We jump out 3-0, 3-1. It was never really all that close, I suppose. So Gabe Arellano, run-scoring single. Alfonso, run-scoring single. Benj, run-scoring single. So just slapping it around. No big sluggers, but Alfonso 3 for 4. Lantigua 2 for 4. We love to see that. Connor Griffin hitting just 150 so far in the postseason. Pena only hitting 150 as well. So kind of the top of our order, maybe struggling a bit. Arellano 2 for 3 down there with a walk as well. He's playing well. Griffin did get a steal, and he walked twice, though. So, overall, still a very solid game for him. Gasser goes 5. We bring in Cole Sands for the 6th. He probably stretches into the 7th, gets hurt on the first batter he faces, is pulled for Ben Abelt, who gets touched up. Mateo then comes in, so our specialists kind of double duty there. Zimmerman, Diaz, end at strong 72 game score for Gasser through 88 pitches. Only walked 1, allowing 1 hit, striking out 8. So our boy holds it down for us. Love to see that. I need to, of course, figure out what we're doing with the pitching here, and then I will rejoin you in Los Angeles for games 3, 4, and 5. All right, we're now in LA here. I've just decided to bench Cole Sands. He'll be available for us 5 days from now on the calendar. So didn't want to put him on the 15-day and risk him not being available for the following series. Should we advance? Didn't really think we needed another pitcher here. So, he could potentially pitch in this final game of the series as well if he recovers in time. He should be fully recovered at the 19th. So no drama there. We're going to LA here, obviously giving the ball to Finn McElroy, who has a win in the postseason, but the ERA is a little bit inflated, so we'll see how he is able to do here. Roki Sasaki will be on the other side. Sasaki now 29, almost 30, over 6 years of service time. Pitched 177 innings this season, 33 starts, 3.5 WAR. Really solid across the board. Everything here is positive. Not really giving up the homer and striking up upwards of 9 per 9. So definitely another tough matchup for us. We'll see how we can do here. I can't say I'm optimistic. I'm a little scared. Obviously, splitting game, like the first 2 games, is not ideal. Just glad we were able to get game 2 in our favor. We really need to steal one here on the road in order to kind of right the ship. So let's see how we can do here. McElroy versus Sasaki. And we lose 3-2. Romero wears the loss. Kettleson with a homer. Carroll and Freeland go yard for the Dodgers. So we lose this one in the bottom of the 8th. Dude, it was tied. We split in the first. We get one apiece in the first. They go 2-1, bottom 4. We equalize in the 7th, and they answer bottom 8 to take the victory. So pretty tough. I ended up bumping Kettleson up to leadoff, and he kind of rewarded us with that with a 3 for 5 performance. Pena was just not hitting. Put him down there, 2 for 4 for him, so maybe he likes it better down here. Not too much production from Benj. Not much production from really anyone else here. I guess Alfonso played well, but that was not enough. Connor Griffin got a hit and a walk, but his average is still kind of slumping, I guess. So McElroy 7 innings strong. Very solid game. No walks, 5K. Only 2 allowed. JoJo comes in the 8th, and I guess just got touched up. Looks like they used a lot of their bullpen here, so maybe that is something that could work in our favor. They pitched a ton of dudes here. This is actually crazy. We left 23 on base. They left 6. So I think that is that's kind of a yikes. You just like never obviously want to see that. So a bunch left on base for Lantigua, Sanford, Griffin. Just overall not good. I think we had opportunities in this game, and just a solo homer by Alex Freeland in the bottom of the 8th tilts it in their favor. So now the question becomes, do we start Jared Jones here, or do we look to make a little bit of a different move and throw Tyler August out there? The only thing I question Jones being an extreme fly ball pitcher in their stadium. Let's check the rest status of our pitching staff. It looks like everyone is pretty fully rested here. Like only Bill Zimmerman is slightly fatigued. So the benefit of August would be that he is, more neutral tendency. Has not really started a tremendous amount of games for us this season, but as a reliever has looked really solid. And I'm just kind of scared of Jones, you guys. So I think I actually am willing to risk it here. If we were in the driver's seat, maybe we go Jones, but we'll actually go mop up, avoid high leverage, and just try to hide Jones here in the bullpen and kind of see how this works for us. So August will be a starter here. Pretty well balanced, but the control is a little suspect. We'll just kind of see how he does here. I'm willing to bet on his strong production overall on the season. So, some of you may disagree with this, but I feel like it gives us the best opportunity to win. We will face off against George Kirby, who made 25 starts this season, had a 5 ERA, so maybe not his strongest work. 1.1 WAR. Of course, he is a former World Series champion in Seattle, 2028. They were the champions there. And, he still profiles as plus control, good movement, although he is a little bit vulnerable against left-handed batters, it appears. So let's see if we can push some runs across. Our hottest hitters in this series are Kettleson, Alfonso, Lantigua. It looks like guys who are not hitting especially well, Griffin, Benj, Johnson. But we're going to keep it the same. We're keeping it the same. Not going to mess with it. Let's see how we do here. Tyler August versus George Kirby. We desperately need to equalize. We cannot go down 3-1 here. That would be bad. And we lose 5-4. Diaz takes the loss, so maybe this one went into extras. Shimomura wins it for them, the 36-year-old reliever. Let's see how this looked. They walk it off. We go, they get 2 in the 8th and 1 in the bottom of the 9th to kind of take it. Jack Sawinski with the run-scoring sac fly. Jack Sawinski's going to do us like that, dude? Are you joking? So that's tough. Looks like Kettleson and Termar just kind of do whatever here at the top. Nothing. We may need to swap Termar and Pena, I'm thinking. And then, Griffin did okay, I guess. I don't know what the issue was here. I mean, everyone appeared to do, somewhat fine. Our pitching, August, gives us a strong game, so I think we made a good decision there. Zimmerman comes in for a single out. Romero gives up 1 run. Diaz enters in the 8th plus, and that kind of, makes him fall apart. So maybe should have stretched out Zimmerman a bit more. I don't know. He only threw 5 pitches. Not sure if, JoJo was our best option there. But we are now down 3-1 as, the Dodgers have a chance to close us out here. In Game 5, it will be Dan Beebe versus Logan Redman again. So let's go ahead and finish this. This is not how I was drawing up this postseason run. Of course, international amateur free agency has been revealed, but we have bigger business at hand here. It looks like Benj and Johnson are really not hitting. I think this is the point where I will optimize the lineup for, like how guys are actually like performing at the moment. So we'll go perhaps something like this. And I just wanted to double check that mirrors what we're seeing here. So Griffin has, not been especially good, but Lantigua has. Lantigua has been a top 3 hitter for us, along with Kettleson and Alfonso. So I feel like this is, our best foot forward. Termar and Benj have not been so good. Let's go with this. I'm going to double check one more time. So we'll go Pena leadoff, Kettleson 2 spot, Lantigua. Although I'm almost wondering if it's like better to do something like this. If you catch the vibe here, just push Sanford up higher, Lantigua, Alfonso clean up Kettleson in the 5 spot with Griffin there as well. So let's push Sanford higher. Let's actually try this and see how this looks for us. Actually, no. I'm reversing course. This is what happens when we go down 3-1. I start overanalyzing. We're going to stick with this. I want Sanford cleanup. I want Alfonso 5 spot. We're going to rock with this and just hope that, Dan Beebe can carry us. He has not pitched to our expectation so far this postseason, I would say. He's been a little shaky with the 5.5 ERA through 2 games. So we really need this one on the road. It will be BB versus Redeman again. Let's see how we do. And we get the dub 3-0, headed back to Pittsburgh, where, we're still alive. BB with the win, Diaz with the save. No home runs for anyone. 3-2 tight series now. Let's see how the box score shook out. We get 2 top third. It was a 2-run double from Edward Lantigua. We induce a double play. It looks like in a jam, bottom 4, and Corbin Carroll reaches in the bottom of the 7th, but we prevent him from scoring. We tack on an insurance run in the 8th. 2 walks for Kettleson, hit for Pena, 2 hits for Lantigua, Sanford as well. So it looks like we were rewarded for our lineup changes here. Johnson and Benj still struggling a bit. And BB goes 6, Hudson 7th and 8th. Diaz gets the 9th, and we are smooth sailing. So love to see that. We'll go back to Pittsburgh here. I'm not going to do, it's only the 17th. We still have time to fill out our IFA pool. So we'll go back to Pittsburgh, and I need to take a break from talking, but let's finish this series out. Back in Pittsburgh here, it is time to lock in. It's put up or shut up time. We got to win these next 2 games if we want to advance to the World Series here. It will be Robert Gasser, who has been lights out in the playoffs so far, getting a big night game at home. Yoshinobu Yamamoto is on the other side. Everyone is fully rested here. We are ready to go. So Yamamoto had a good game earlier in the series, but, this matchup did not go in his favor. He pitched strongly, but we just kind of hit better than them. I keep coming back to this game 3 where we left 23 runners on base, dude. Like, how is that even possible? 23 runners is outrageous. But I don't want to get hung up on that. Obviously it's a huge turning point in the series, game 3. We needed that one. But anyway, let's move along here. Game 6, I feel confident in Gasser. He's been, like I mentioned, lights out. We've got the lineup adjusted, optimized here. We've got Lantigua, Kettleson up near the top. Everyone is hopefully going to perform well. So let's see how we do here. Gasser versus Yamamoto. And we equalize 3-3 in the series. We even it up. Zimmerman with the win late. Yamamoto wears the loss. Homers for Benj, and Ariano gets a homer. 3-1 victory. So we force a Game 7 here. This is outrageous. We jump on them early, 1-0. Looks like a solo shot from Ariano. Top 5, Jack Sawinski is kind of destroying us. I don't know what's going on with Sawinski. Goes left on left for a run-scoring double, but then we come back bottom 6, solo homer for Benj, double for Lantigua, and that's all she wrote. So looks like Kettleson continues to hit. Pena maybe struggling a little bit. Maybe he just doesn't need to be in the leadoff. I wonder if we swapped him to the 2 spot if he would do better, or what's going on there. We may just leave it. I'm probably overthinking it. Really no hits for anyone else, however. Kind of disappointing from Griffin and Johnson. We really need them to come on. Ariano doing well in the 9 spot, turning the lineup over there. So like what he's giving us. Gasser only walks 2, strikes out 7, 3 hits. Zimmerman gets stretched for 1 2/3, striking out 3, only allowing 1 hit. JoJo comes in, gets a clean inning, only walking 1 though, and then Diaz with the save. So we're forcing a Game 7. It looks like, Yamamoto went, workhorse length. Good game from him, no doubt. It's just they left 18 on base here, so our pitching did a really good job of stranding runners. Kind of Uno reversed card them. We will finish today. Houston has already advanced on the opposite side, so they await, and they will be fully rested there. So we're going to go ahead and advance to Game 7 here. Finn McElroy at home. I'm feeling pretty good about it. He excels at, home games. So, we've kind of thrown him in tough spots on the road so far throughout this playoff run. So I don't know that we've seen the best of him just yet. So now I'm wondering if maybe we swap out Pena out of leadoff, or how we want to handle this. No. I already said I'm not going to do that. We're just going to roll with who we got here. Our full pitching staff should be available. I wonder if Cole Sands is healthy. He is healthy. He is available and ready to go. He will not be benched anymore. McElroy should be fully rested. He is. And, Zimmerman is a little fatigued. Oh, it looks like Diaz is exhausted, so I almost don't even want to pitch him. I almost want to bench him because he should not really play. I would be worried that he would blow the game. So I think we're going to make an executive call to come in and step in here and just bench him for 1 game. And I want to actually make sure that takes effect. So Cole Sands will likely be our closer in this one, which I think he's capable of. I think he's capable of handling that. I don't want to, downplay what he's done for us this season. I just am, weary of the exhaustion on Diaz there. So let's go ahead and get this over with. That could come back to bite us, of course. But, maybe our offense pulls through. So it'll be Roki Sasaki versus Finn McElroy deciding Game 7 in the NLCS here. Let's see what we do. We get the victory, 7-6. Hudson with the late win. You have to wonder if this one went into extras. Homers for Johnson and Kettleson. How about Brock Kettleson this season, you guys? Freeland gets one on the other side. Kettleson is your NLCS MVP. So we walk it off, bottom 9. How about that, y'all? Look at this. They jump on us early, actually. McElroy gets touched up in the top of the first, but we get it 4-1, 5-1. Then we erupt for 4 in the bottom of the 5th. It's a 3-run jack for Kettleson, and then Lantigua with a single in the 7th. Bottom 9, Pena with a big single, Koziel with a sac fly. We'll have to zoom in and see how that went. Big game for Pena, 3 for 4. Let's go. That's huge. Lantigua with the hit. Sanford, still nothing from Griffin. Not much from Alfonso either. It looks like 3 hits for Ariano. Ariano hitting .324 so far this postseason. He's been, silently killing at the bottom of our lineup. Error from Sanford. Our full bullpen gets work here. So Jared Jones even gets in the game. Holy cow. We got McElroy out of there. Unfortunate to see his postseason performance given his regular season, stat line for us. That's just kind of a bummer, but obviously we'll stick by him. Abel, Mateo in their specialist roles, handle business. Looks like Zimmerman gave up a run, and then late it was Sands coming in for 6 pitches. We just utilized everyone. Our manager was in his bag. Melvin Brasabon was able to make it work. Hudson comes in for 1 out, gets the strikeout, so you kind of have to wonder, how close we were to throwing it away there. But, really exciting finish here. I can't believe we came back from the 3-1 deficit just to win out here. 3 straight games to close it out. So now we will turn our attention to the World Series, where it will be our Pirates versus the Houston Astros. Obviously, we are, heavily fatigued coming off this full 7-game set, so we'll have to see how our pitching looks and in what order we want to start everyone here. Okay, we've made a miraculous return to the World Series for the 3rd consecutive season, looking to, of course, capture our 2nd championship in a row. The Dodgers series was crazy, y'all. I don't know how we managed to pull that off, but Houston awaits us on the other side. Let's take a look at who they are bringing in. I will say there have been some off days, so we will get to run our pitching staff as normal. I think Dan Beebe is definitely available for this first game, so nothing to worry about there. Houston made a lot of offseason signings in this most recent offseason. You can see they have guys like C.J. Abrams and Jackson Holliday in their lineup, along with Jason Dominguez, a couple of their top performers there. As far as playoff performers, we're looking at these stats split for the postseason. Dave Royal is actually their best hitter, who is a 3rd-round pick in 2027, has kind of accelerated through he's 27 years old, so he must have been a college player, but he looks really awesome. Great on the base paths, great gap power, eye combo, 2.9 WAR player with a 132 WRC plus for them this season. They also, like I mentioned, have C.J. Abrams still, who, is not going to strike out a ton at this point in his career, is just playing first base at 31 years old, so kind of hiding him defensively, I suppose, but still really good on the base paths, although he only had 18 steals this season. And like I mentioned, they have the Martian. They still have Jackson Holliday, who signed a massive contract with them this offseason, $441 million of potential value in that deal. So, he put up a 6.3 WAR season for them at second base. He is obviously an awesome hitter, 28 home runs, 106 RBI for them. So it looks like that signing paid off. As far as their pitching goes, they have several strong arms here. Their ace is Joey McManus, who, I don't really know exactly where he came from. It says he was acquired as a minor league free agent signing, and he is now a 60-grade tool shed of a pitcher. So he's pretty young. He's got a great pitch mix through 214 innings this season. Made 34 starts, both highs in the American League, 5.5 WAR. Obviously a very, very strong pitcher, extreme fly ball tendency. And they follow him up with Jeremy Pilon, who is a Rule 5 draft pick from the Tampa Bay Rays. It looks like also very, very strong profile here, good control over, or not control, but good skill level with all of his pitches, good movement, 2.7 WAR on the season in 152 innings. Looks like he made 27 starts for them. So, pretty strong pitchers, a couple of 50-grade guys to round it out. Andres Munoz is their closer. We honestly kind of looked at him ourselves this offseason, ultimately ended up going for Diaz as our closer, but it looks like he was really good and successful for them, 36 saves on the year for the 32-year-old. So they also I noticed they have Joe Ryan here in the bullpen as well. That's kind of funny. And Chris Bassett is still here at age 42. Wow, that's actually crazy. And they have him pitching setup leverage, which is I would say probably questionable. So they were 88 and 74 on the season. They snuck in as a wild card and have just gotten hot at the right time, have advanced all the way through Cleveland, through Tampa, and through the Angels, and now they will face us. We, of course, will have home field advantage against them. And on the season, we swept them. We had a 3-0 record. They're not real. They're kind of more middle of the pack in the AL in terms of their hitting and pitching. So not really too much of a comparison there against us. We are going to run out pretty much the same lineup as before. I made one small adjustment. You can see I put Kettleson leadoff and bumped Termar to the 2 spot. Pena goes down to the 8 spot, but Griffin staying at 6, Lantigua staying at 3, kind of riding the hot hand between those guys. If Griffin starts to hit, maybe we swap them around. We'll kind of just see how it goes. But BB will get game 1. He is fully rested for us. Good to go here. Let's go ahead and knock out these first 2 games on camera and see how we look. It is, PNC is going to be rocking. The fans are hungry. We need back-to-back championships here, but Joey McManus is a scary pitcher to face. We've already taken a look at his stat line. Let's see how we can do here. It will be ace versus ace in Game 1 of the 2031 World Series. And we get the dub, 4-2. Cole Sands late, Munoz wears the loss, and Diaz gets the save. So it looks like this one came together in the late innings. Jackson Holiday homers, but that's kind of it. We do jump on them late for 2 in the 7th and in the 8th. We are blanked the whole way. They get 2, 1 in the 1st, 1 in the 3rd. So kind of a pitcher's duel all the way there. And it looks like we had some bench contributors come in here. They must have brought in a lefty. So Alex Harrington pushes one across with a single. Gabe Arellano with a big double. And then Alfonso with a double. Benj with a double, which is awesome on Munoz in the 8th. So really kind of sweating this one down the stretch. Did they? No. Okay. So Kettleson 0 for 3. It looks like Lantigua, Sanford. I'm trying to see who hit here. Arellano, I thought about potentially pushing him to lead off, but then I was like, no, we can't. He's still too unproven, but he's hitting 341 this postseason. It's hard not to push him higher. Still going to bet on Termar, I think, though. But great defense for us. We actually left 17 on base, too, so it could have been much worse for them. BB and McManus duel as expected. McManus had a tremendous game, 12 strikeouts. BB allowed 5 hits, but only 2 earned, 1 walk, 6 K. Kerkering gets in there, actually, so his little taste of postseason action for him. Zimmerman gives up 2 hits, but ultimately no runs allowed. Sands gets a single out, and Diaz gets the save, although it looks like he allowed a couple of base runners there. So we're in the driver's seat. Obviously love to see that. And I need to take a break. I've been talking way too long. All right, Game 2. We've got a battle of lefties here. It will be Jeremy Pillon versus Robert Gasser. Both looks like have had successful postseasons for us so far. This will be the first lefty we have faced since, all the way back in the Miami series here in the divisional. So a little bit of a different look for us lineup-wise. But I still feel confident that we can pull this one off. Of course, we are up 1-0 in the driver's seat. Let's see how Gasser will perform against Pillon. 152 innings for him at a 2.7 WAR so far this season. Obviously looks very strong. So fingers crossed we can continue rolling here. And we do 7-4 victory. It looks like it went into the bullpen. JoJo actually gets the win. Homers for Abrams and Holiday, but Weinberger, the rookie, how about that? Going deep, presumably against the lefty there. Diaz steps in for the save. So we are now up 2-0 in the World Series. 15 hits for our Pirates. Really awesome. They actually jump on Gasser early in the top of the first. It looks like a 2-run homer for Holiday, but bottom first, Weinberger answers with his own 2-run homer. And bottom 6th, Arellano with a run-scoring single again. We get 4 here, so Axel Plaz contributes as well. A lot of action, bottom 6 for us, and then they jump on us early, and then we kind of blank them the rest of the way. So, Gasser got touched up, but our bullpen really held it down. Maybe this will get Connor Griffin going. A 3-hit performance would be awesome to see him start producing. Plaz with the 3 RBI there, so that's big time for him. Alex Harrington, actually, it looks like he got pulled for back spasms, so that's unfortunate. Pena played the full game there. Camden Koziel at first base gets a hit, 1 for 4. Kerkering actually, so this is not ideal here. This is definitely not good. Hopefully we get clarity on what this could be. He was only able to throw 10 pitches. It looks like this possibly decimated our bullpen. So he didn't even really, I don't even know how many batters he faced here. 2 batters and then goes down. And then Kerkering comes in, just kind of gets destroyed. But then we give it to Jones. Romero is stretched super long, so he's exhausted for sure. But gives us 3 strong innings there in the back half. Sands and Diaz close it out. But, you kind of have to wonder what is going to go on with Gasser there. But our offense was able to carry us. We're up 2-0 here. So, I think we can, be okay. Let's go ahead and finish this and see if we are able to get any clarity here. We're doing some scouting reports here. On the international amateurs, no clarity on Gasser. The diagnosis is pending. We don't necessarily need to swap him out currently. I will actually go to Finn McElroy here for Game 3, though. We have an off day today, so no action for us here. Our bullpen can get another day of rest before we go on the road to Houston, and it's the worst case scenario for Gasser. He was staring down a new contract this offseason. This was his, he put up a really strong year for us, and this is brutal for him. Is now not going to get paid. He'll be out for a full 10 months, so we're going to have to fill his spot with somebody from AAA to come in and likely just, I don't even know where we'll pitch them. I guess it depends on how the series goes. So I'll need to go off camera and figure all that out, and I'll be back in a sec. And this is ultimately what we decided to do. I sort of weighed calling up Mike Burrows and giving him a run here, but I ended up just sliding Jared Jones back into the rotation. So it's possible that he makes a start for us deeper into the series. We'll kind of see how we want to juggle these pitchers. And I called up Antoine Kelly to just serve as middle relief, just low leverage volume. He only appeared in 8 games for us this season, but it was pretty lights out, I would say. So I think he's capable, at least from a ratings perspective, of holding down a low leverage role. So, this is going to be how we're moving. We're going to go McElroy August and then Beebe to, go these 3 games in Houston. We'll see if we end up starting Jared Jones or not, or kind of how the series shakes out. Of course, there is the opportunity that we just kind of win this. We could just totally take this here in these next couple of games and, go home happy. I would definitely be in favor of that. So we've got McElroy, who has been a little shaky here as of late. He will face off against Daniel Keeney, who is a pretty young player here. His first full season at the majors, it looks like this season, got 197 innings at a 3.3 WAR. So overall, very productive, close to league average in his ERA and FIP, but just looks pretty steady. Honestly, it reminds me of Finn McElroy in a way with his plus control and movement profile. So, we're up 2-0. Let's see how we can do here. Game 3 in Houston. Hopefully we can take a commanding lead here. And we do. Johnson blasts Astros. Looks like Termar goes yard along with Kettleson and Lantigua. The boys were hitting. 8-5 victory. Diaz steps in for another postseason save here. So the lights are shining bright for Diaz in his age 37 season, and he is answering the call. Although he is exhausted, we definitely need to bench him for a game here. The box score, how does this look? So we jump on them early. We get all of our runs in the first 4 innings. They jump on us for 2 in the bottom of the 8th, it looks like, to sort of give us a little bit of a scare, but really it was not in question. Kettleson solo homer to lead off the game. Triple for Sanford. Looks like they got a double in the bottom of the third. Johnson with a 3-run homer, top 4. So moving Kettleson up to leadoff has really sparked our offense this postseason. We are still looking for production out of Connor Griffin, and it is not there. Same for Carson Benj as well. 2 kind of holes in the lineup. Pena gets a hit there, but it's really these top guys that are producing for us. So pitching-wise, McElroy, again, just kind of so-so, 3 earned, 4 walks, 4K. Not sure he's been the same since returning from that injury he suffered late in the season. Antoine Kelly actually gets in there for some low-leverage work. Smart of our manager, I guess, to try to get away with that. But then we go to our real guys, Romero and Diaz, who both pitch clean innings. So, player of the game, Termar. We are now 1 win away from going back-to-back in the World Series, which is crazy to think of for our Pirates here. Just, in 2031, we're not that far removed from real-life Pirates here. And I feel like I've done a pretty good job of making modest moves. You can definitely play this game and be super crazy aggressive and totally turn over the team, but I feel like we've taken a slow, organic approach to this, and I'm overall happy with how we've looked here. But anyway, getting a little, sentimental about our Pirates here. It is going to be Tyler August versus Ryan Garrity. So we've, fully committed to August as our 4-starter now, and he's kind of rewarded us a little bit. If I remember correctly, the last game went well. So asking a lot of him, but also not, because we're up 3-0, so it's kind of low leverage here. So Ryan Garrity will be their arm. He is a 26-year-old 6th-round pick from the 2026 draft. Got a couple of years under his belt now. Extreme ground baller, a sidearm righty, so you would imagine there is a splits issue with him, but he has a full mix here. 2 really high-quality pitches. Had 197 innings this season. Had a good ERA, FIP, but we appear to be kind of rolling here. Yeah, it does look like left-handed batters are more effective against him. Can they stop our offense? We've sort of been snowballing here. 4 runs, 7 runs, 8 runs. Can we keep the momentum going? Can Tyler August give us a strong start here? I actually did want to come here and bench Diaz again for another game. Just don't want any funny business for him, given he is on 20% stamina at the moment. So we'll lean on the other guys here. We have Sands fully available, Hudson, Zimmerman, both fully available. So let's see how we can do here. Game 4 in Houston. Will we walk this off on the road and get our sweep? We will. We do it with style. We get an achievement. Brock Kettleson is your World Series MVP. Outrageous. 6-5. It's a tough game. Antoine Kelly gets the win in the deciding World Series game, so calling him up was definitely the right call. Look at all of these homers. Holy. So they must have just been solo shots, because we only had 6 runs, but homers for Alfonso, Kettleson, Sanford, and Lantigua. We sit atop Major League Baseball yet again. Let's take a look at the box score here. Wow, this really swung in our favor late. It went 12 innings. You could imagine Houston is just clawing, fighting for their life here. They get 5 runs in the bottom of the 6th. Looks like August had a good start up until that point. Not sure if he's on the hook for all of those or not. Our offense, jumped out early. It was 4-0. They actually take the lead, and then we tie it top 9. So big hit in the top of the 9th from Brock Kettleson, a solo jack against Andres Munoz. Holy cow. And then Alfonso wins the game for us, top 11. That's amazing. We have to check and see how this all shaped out. Brock Kettleson has really stepped into a team leadership role for us this year. The 24-year-old has gone, MVP in back-to-back, NLCS and World Series here. So quite the story for him. But we get hits from pretty much everyone at the top of our lineup. Even Connor Griffin contributes. Nothing from Carson Benj, per usual. And Ariano kind of quiet as well down there at the bottom. So a lot of pinch hitters getting in here. I think probably they brought in a lefty pitcher at around this point, we tried to optimize with Weinberger and Plaz in there. So let's see. We actually left 20 runners on base, both teams stranding a ton of base runners here. So the pitching doing a good job of holding it down. An error from Tyler August here. Looks like, I don't know, it's hard to, I mean, these were earned runs, so not necessarily pegged to, the error being the fault there. Kirkering and Romero get touched up, and then we give it to Sands. Hudson gives us some good length. Zimmerman as well. Kelly and Ben Abelt with the save. So fully emptying the clip. August actually did have a positive game score of 62. So, only 2 hits allowed, 4 walks, 7K. Our boy, our 2026 second round pick, who, was a shutdown reliever for us for the majority of the season on the biggest stage, starts Game 4 of the World Series and is victorious in the end. Not credited with the win, of course, but you know what I mean. So, how about that, you guys? Back-to-back World Series championships. Let's go ahead and finish today so we get the nice graphic here. I can't imagine, how Pittsburgh would react to this. Obviously, we have, one of the lowest payrolls in all of the MLB. If we go here, we sold out pretty much every game this season. 97 on the fan interest now. But our budget is still just 23rd, and our payroll is 29th. So, this is low-key still like a Moneyball team. You can see we made the most revenue in, our history here. A huge separation between our expenses. And overall, really, really happy. We are in a contract season, so I would imagine that I was looking for the World Series. We're in a contract season with our, GM job. Hopefully we'll get renewed for the long haul here. It's party time in Pittsburgh. Confetti is flying and residents are smiling. We wrap up a 4-0 series win. So it was really that Dodgers series that was like the biggest scare. And it's crazy we were able to come back from 3-1 on the back of our pitching there and a couple of timely hits. Brock Kettleson is interviewed by the media. He says it feels great. This is, of course, his second World Series championship. He got in there last year as well. So he's a well-experienced veteran at this point. We put a lot of work into this season and deserve to be champions. So this will, close the book on 2031. I think all around, one of the better seasons. Obviously, winning the World Series. Not sure it's quite as sweet as that first World Series could be, but love the drama here in the LCS that we faced and all the adversity we pushed through. Sad that we lost Robert Gasser, so, didn't come without, its expense. But overall, super pleased with our 2031 Pirates. So we're going to, what does this mean for, the next steps in the series? We're obviously going to run it back for one more season. Try to go for the elusive three-peat here. I don't think we're losing much talent at all. We'll be able to field pretty much the same roster as we did this season, and we'll see if some of our prospects can feature as well. Guys like Ben Small, I'm thinking about especially. So we're definitely going to do the same series format for the next season and try to move through it as quick as we can and get back to the playoffs and then try to go for the three-peat. Beyond that, I'm not willing to promise too much in terms of month-to-month action in the series. We may look to speed up even further, because if we've won 3 World Series in a row, I'm kind of like, okay, we've rebuilt the Pirates. But, that's definitely going to be our goal for next season. Hopefully we can achieve that, but let's just take a moment here to enjoy the 2031 team and the club here. Obviously, they will go down in history. This run has been tremendous, and I appreciate you guys for sticking with the video. I'm sure this was one of the longer ones in the series. I'm like low-key trying to keep track of the video length here, but the playoff episodes, I get super into it. I can't control how long they go, and I just want to thank you guys for sticking with the series. It's 50 episodes. It's great to cap that off with another championship here. We are on the mountaintop of the MLB, so I'll be back with the off-season here in a bit, the 2031 to 2032 off-season. May take a couple of days in between recording sessions to kind of reset and get in the right mindset to continue building this team. But thank you guys so much for watching again. If you're able to leave a like on the video, that would be awesome. But stay tuned for a new video coming in the next couple days. So take it easy.